Good afternoon. I am George Herbig, Chief Forecaster here with Weather Now, Kentucky, and we do have some severe storms that are going on right now, so we'll go over that information, look at the live radar, answer some of your questions. Let's take a look at what the forecast is for later on tonight. Remember that this is not the main round that we're looking at tonight. The late night round will be your main show, but this line is continuing to rumble its way on to Kentucky and eventually through our state. Of course, as you're coming in, if you wouldn't mind, tap that share button at the bottom portion of your screen. This is a live and alert day broadcast, so hopefully you help us share it out to your newsfeed, help your friends and family get informed as well and up to date on what to expect throughout the day. That said, let's go ahead and dive on right into the information. I'm going to go ahead and right to the display screen here and get rid of the border. Okay, the entire line, for the most part, is still severe warned. We've been watching this for the last hour or two back in Indiana and Illinois, and it's continuing to produce 60 to 65 mile per hour winds throughout its path here. Let's go ahead and just click on one of these bulletins and read the board for you here. National Weather Service in Louisville has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for central Breckinridge County, central Kentucky, and Meade County in central Kentucky. The rest of those counties are for Indiana. The hazard is 60 mile per hour wind gusts, and that warning goes until 12:30 Central Time, so 3 more minutes there. I'm assuming that will probably be expanded or renewed for the areas in front. This warning's for the same thing, 60 mile per hour winds and quarter-sized hail. And then we have this warning back out here toward Owensboro for 60 mile per hour wind. Very, very, very small hail with that on as well. Going back out here toward Henderson, 60 mile per hour wind gusts, the main threat there. As this line continues to drop more east-southeast at this point, a few cells jumping out in front of it toward Corbin and Campbellsville, but those are non-severe. And the one down here toward the border, just to the east of Franklin, but not severe down there either. We do have a signature here. Let's go ahead and read this. I just want to make sure. Okay, so severe hail is likely with this, 1.25 inches already included in that bulletin. If you look at your screen here, this pink or red, whatever you're kind of seeing. By the way, I don't know if my comments are working or not. I know YouTube is. I see the YouTube comments. Facebook, if you're commenting, I cannot see. Let me go ahead and refresh that just to make sure. I'm sure they are. There we go. I couldn't see any comments there for a second. Now I can see a couple of them. Nancy Sterling, thank you guys for sharing the broadcast. I appreciate you. But we do have some loud, loud winds about to roll through here. Next up for this would be places like Radcliffe, Elizabethtown, Brandenburg, down Litchfield, going up toward Louisville, Jeffersontown, Mount Washington. You kind of be the next up along this line just in front of it here. These are moving at about a speed, I think last I saw about 30 mile per hour. Let's go take a look one more time. 50 mile per hour, so they ticked up a little bit. 50 mile per hour is the speed at which they're moving there. If we go over here and we look at the other radar and just kind of take a glance at it, I'm going to put this into a different tilt. And now this is getting closer to the radar beam here. We do see some nice peaks over here toward Brandenburg, just to the west of it. 60 mile per hour winds going on there. Let's go ahead and zoom in down here toward Irvington. 67 mile per hour gust recorded right there. Over here toward Ekron, 67 mile per hour as well. 64, I should say. So a solid 60 to 65 mile per hour wind gusts going on as these are approaching central Kentucky. So I do feel like this warning will probably be expanded once more. We'll see how that rolls here over the next 2 minutes. I believe this warning has 2 more minutes on it. It has 1 more minute on it. So we'll see if that renews there. Jeff, hello. How are you doing, Ruth? Hello. Storms fired up in Breckenridge County. Thank you. Getting dark. Thunder rolling. Light rain. Weather radio went off twice, but missed the alerts due to it being on call. Not sure we need a shelter. You don't need a shelter, but I do think you need to stay off of the roadways. At least get it indoors somewhere. Ashley with the 4-month subscriber badge. Thank you so much for tuning in here at work. Hope you're staying safe. Hopefully work's not too bad today. Well, this in northern Kentucky. This should go just south of northern Kentucky, depending upon what you're referring to. A lot of people have different terms for different spots in the state. But if you're talking about like Crittenden, Dry Bridge up there toward Florence, it should just go south of you. The main mode is tonight, Andrew. That is correct. No, things have not changed. This one just kind of popped up. Some models showed an afternoon round, some models didn't. Based off of yesterday, the way yesterday went, we did not forecast the afternoon round because yesterday it really underconvected. So we didn't really go with the afternoon round, but of course, one time we don't go with it, it happens. So that's just kind of how the cookie crumbles sometimes. But no, this doesn't really change a whole lot. Now, one thing we're going to watch over the next hour or so is just to see how long this line lasts. So this kind of looks like the line that we were supposed to get last night. If you remember correctly, we looked at the model data. We were talking about last night's forecast. This kind of looks like that line that was supposed to come through last night that kind of just never did. More so went up here towards Cincinnati and northern Kentucky. It really missed this area. So for the folks that missed out on last night's action, we're asking, where the heck is it at? Well, I guess here you go. Maybe it just came in a little late, and there's that new warning we talked about that we probably would expand or would expect the NWS to expand. It is for 60-mile-per-hour winds, and let's go ahead and read this bulletin here. Sorry if you hear the dog barking in the background. He's really hyper today. Meade County, Jefferson County, Bullock County, Breckinridge County, and Hardin County in central Kentucky. It's moving east at about a speed of 40 miles per hour, and the hazardous 60-mile-per-hour wind gust. Locations impacted include Louisville, Elizabethtown, Shively, Shepherdsville, Brandenburg, Pioneer Village, Watterson Park, Linview, Hollow Creek, and Holly Villa. So it's moving at about a speed of 40 miles per hour. Now, I can't put a big cone on for you, but I can at least put somewhat of a cone on for you and kind of show you different areas. So, for example, places like northern Hardin County, we put this at a speed of 40 miles per hour. And we're looking at being in Big Spring in 9 minutes, Flaherty in 15 minutes, Vine Grove in 22 minutes, Rineyville in 25 minutes, Radcliffe in 26 minutes, Elizabethtown in 34 minutes, Lebanon Junction in 43 minutes, Nelsonville in 51 minutes, sorry about that, New Haven in 57 minutes as well, and so on and so forth. So, here are your timings once again. Flaherty 15, Vine Grove 22, Radcliffe 26, so on and so forth. E-Town 34 minutes. Make a box or a cone on the northern side of this. We'll do another track here and just kind of show you the northern side, because this is one big warning box, obviously. It'll be in Rosewood in about 15 minutes. First up would be Dogwood. It should already be there. Hollyville in 27 minutes. Going toward Fox Chase in 33 minutes, Shepherdsville in 34 minutes, and Poplar Level in 41 minutes, and Mount Washington in 44 minutes. It'll be in your location. Once again, guys, the main impact means 60 to 65 mile per hour winds. I want to measure those wind gusts one more time on this radar. Yeah, you see the blues showing up. Those are your 60 mile per hour notches. Again, it's not widespread along the whole line, but some of it might also be the fact that this storm, if you look at right here on the right side of your screen, this black hole right here is actually where the radar is. And once a storm kind of approaches that, sometimes we lose some good data. We go to different tilts into the atmosphere, which means we're going up higher, looking higher, but then you're losing the surface data. So some of it's getting lost. I think this is probably still producing 60 to 65 mile per hour winds, even though it really isn't showing up along the entire line. But I do think that this is likely producing some damaging winds through central Kentucky. We've already had some reports out of southern Indiana of some damages ongoing from this line, so we know kind of what we're looking at here. Once again, I kind of got distracted because the warning came out, but this severe watch that we see active is for another 3 hours and 27 minutes. So this watch goes all the way until 5 o'clock, and then we have a nighttime round, which when we get a second, I'll show you the model data, and you can kind of see for yourself on the night what the nighttime round is looking like. But this watch goes active for another 3.5 hours here. I do think after this line pushes through, they'll start to drop some folks from the watch. Like, for example, I think over the next half hour or so, we'll see southern Indiana begin to drop off from the watch. I don't see a reason for it to last all the way until 5 p.m. Quite honestly, but we'll keep an eye on it. Wanted to touch base here once again. If you were on Owensboro, I don't want to forget about you out here. And even out here toward Hardinsburg, McDaniels, Falls of Rough, Owensboro, Knottsville, Whitesville, Henderson going towards Spotsville, not Scottsville, but Spotsville. Yes, it's good old Kentucky names for you. You're all also under severe warning for 60 mile per hour wind gust as well. But if you're not in the red or pink, whatever you want to call this, you're not under that watch, and we do expect the storms to be able to weaken by the time they actually get through this area. They're already kind of on a weakening trend. If you would have saw this a few hours ago, you would have seen how strong it actually was. But they're continuing to at least maintain their strength for now. But I do think that quickly, as we can already tell, if you kind of look out in front of these storms, I want to pull it up just this radar real quickly. If you look out in front of these storms, we're already seeing some rain showers begin to pop up. Those rain showers will help to weaken the environment and allow an outflow boundary to get out in front of this and allow these storms to begin to weaken. So I do think here over the next half hour, while they are strong and they're being able to maintain their strength right now, I think over the next half hour we'll start to see them weaken and downtrend a little bit. But once again, this is not the main mode today. The main mode today is going to be tonight. And I'll show you that here in just 1 second. We want to make one real quick recap in case anyone is tuning in here. Mount Washington to E-Town. including Shepherdsville, Radcliffe, Shively, and Brandenburg. You were under a severe warning for 60-mile-per-hour wind gust, as well as back out here toward McDaniels and Kingswood, Falls of Rough. You are also included in that. Owensboro to Knottsville, Whitesville, 60-mile-per-hour wind gust ongoing there. And then once again, just east of Henderson going toward Reed and Spotsville, Kentucky, under a 60-mile-per-hour wind gust severe warning there. So what I want to show you now real quickly before we get too busy here, I kind of just want to show you the rest of the day. Now, I will caution you when I show you this, the models have been, for lack of better terms, just bad. Just bad. So we've done a lot of current analysis. We've done a lot of kind of looking at what's actually happening. I also want to show you before actually we get into that, I want to show you the new SPC outlook, which if I made a graphic right now, I'm not going to because I don't have the time. But if I made a graphic right now, it would probably look a lot like this forecast here. So pretty good agreement between the SPC and WNK. But here's the latest SPC outlook. Level 2 out of 5 for the folks in yellow, basically from Paducah or even Mayfield all the way toward, but not including Shelbyville. Corbin, Williamsburg, Bowling Green, you're included in that as well, and everyone in between. Level 3 out of 5 risk is really close to Kentucky. You could argue that this does need to be in northwestern Kentucky. I thought they would put this in northwestern Kentucky, like places like Madisonville, Sturgis, Paducah, maybe even Henderson. I think you could argue that a level 3 out of 5 risk does need to be expanded down there, which they still might do because we do have one more update before the event tonight starts. That update should come around 4:30, I believe, Eastern time. So we'll let you know if they change it. Usually they don't change it last minute like that unless unless they're very convinced. But you could argue that level 3 out of 5 needs to be in here. So my point is, don't pay attention too much to the colors. Just know that the risks are there today for strong wind gusts. You can see where that enhanced risk is. They're expecting a 30 to 44% chance of severe winds in that red area, and where that hatched area is, they have a 10% probability of hurricane force winds. So we have a nice bit of wind bag machine coming down here toward Kentucky. Kentucky just in the yellow area for now, 15 to 29% risk for severe winds. So nothing to bat your eye at. This is definitely a risk at play for today. And again, the main time frame basically being from 6 p.m. or 6 p.m. to 1 a.m. I want to show you that there also is a tornado risk, but it is extremely low, just like yesterday. We don't really expect a tornado to happen. We just can't rule it out. Just like yesterday, we didn't have a tornado occur. Now, I did see some pictures before I put my foot in my mouth there. There may have been one in Meade County, but that is extremely preliminary. That is extremely assumptive of me. Just looking at the pictures that I've seen coming out of Meade County, more specifically Doe Valley, Kentucky, there were a lot of twisted trees that I saw. Again, it didn't look like anything super severe. If I had to guess, it was probably an EF0 tornado. But again, all I've seen are pictures, a few pictures, and a few reports come in. So again, that's not anything confirmed. I want to make sure that's very clear. That's just looking at the pictures, seeing what I'm seeing. It does look like there was at least maybe a gust tornado or a tornado that may have occurred in Meade County last night, but that was the only one. And quite frankly, it didn't even look like a tornado on radar. So I'm not quite sure just yet. But again, about a 2 to 4% chance of a tornado occurring today. If we did see one, it would be probably a quick spin up and then it would be gone. Again, I don't think the tornado odds are very high today. But, hey, Indiana surprised us a little bit last night with a few tornadoes that they had. So I can't really rule it out, but I just don't think it's quite there. So I'm going to fast forward this model here through 7 to 8 p.m. This model, guys, I'm going to let you guys know, it's been flat out bad. It's just been flat out bad. So honestly, we're going to get off that model. We're going to go look at this model over here. So this is actually valid for right now. You can tell that this model is also not handling it well because guess what's happening? If I open up my radar, we have a severe line stretching all the way along the Ohio River and just south. This is right now. If I go back to this model and show you what's happening right now in this model, nothing there. So this is why you can't just rely on models. This is why you can't just look at it. Yes, we show you it because it helps to kind of just add perspective to things. But it's the models, especially in Kentucky, struggle during summertime badly, very, very badly. So this is valid for 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m., 11 p.m. Nothing there. Nothing really there. And then it finally pushes its way through late, almost all the way to Wednesday and lunchtime. So I'm telling you guys, the models, I'm showing them to you just to have, give you some context. But they're just bad. They are very, very bad. A lot of this that we've been forecasting the last couple of days, including today, has just been gut feeling. It's just been a lot of science involved. But it's nothing on models anyway. So if you look at the European model, which is the only model that's actually consistently showing the idea of what we're expecting tonight, it does show another line along the Ohio River going stronger back out toward western Kentucky, maybe arcing over toward central Kentucky. This would be around it's 7 to 9 p.m. tonight, which does kind of match up with our thinking based upon how we know these systems usually go through Kentucky, and that's why we put the time frame for the alert day from 6 p.m. to 1 a.m. If I click on the sounding here, I don't want you to get too alarmed. But click on the sounding here. We do have some reversing winds going through the bottom part of the wind profile. If you look right here in the middle. And something I'm noticing, though, is that just like last night, there seems to be a lot of inhibition. So if you look right here, this big red number, right under the sin H, that is convective inhibition. What that does is, in very layman terms, is a much more scientific definition, but in very layman terms, it helps to block storms or to keep them from realizing their full potential. So we saw a lot of this last night, and I think that's a great reason on why storms were able to tame themselves for a while. Eventually, they got going a little bit once they got into Kentucky once again, especially deeper into Kentucky. I was kind of surprised how long and far east they were able to keep their energy. But once again, we're going to be dealing with some inhibition today to help block storms. Looking at the other profiles here, I know it kind of looks crazy, but very quickly on my eyes. I'm not seeing anything overly impressive here. I mean, shear is very weak. If you look at the SRH number, that stands for storm relative helicity in the bottom there. Again, that's very weak. Your downdraft cape is very weak. There's not a whole lot there, but that's also because this is a long range model. Long range models that struggle to measure those energies correctly. So kind of a frustrating day ahead. We're kind of going in blind here a little bit. We're just looking at, current analysis left and right. We're just doing a lot of math on the go here. Just a lot of current analysis, looking at what's happening, trying to project it into the future. I just wanted to show you guys, hey, if things go a little weird today versus what was projected, it's because quite literally, model data has been atrocious, and it's been terrible. It's been terrible. And unfortunately, it's almost always like that in the summertime in Kentucky. It really is. Time frame, once again, I think the main time frame tonight is 6 p.m. to 1 a.m. Generally, anywhere within that window. Again, we have no reliable data right now, but the conditions favor that window for strong weather. Sorry about that. I was opening the window. Well, not opening it, but I was opening up the curtain so we could see outside. If anything goes crazy here, time frame for Bowling Green, 6 p.m. to 1 a.m. Winds are crazy again in Del Valley. Hope everything's going okay out there. Thank you for that report. How fast is the storm moving? Moving at about a speed of 50 mile per hour to the southeast. Is hail going to be a factor as well? There might be some small hail, even up toward ping pong ball size, but I'm talking about anything great? I don't think so. Just kind of giving a look around and make sure we're not missing anything here. So here's the latest tweet from, I kind of want to show you this. Here's the latest tweet from the NWS Storm Prediction Center. It does have a damaging wind potential. Will continue across the Weather Watch 569. That's our severe thunderstorm watch, and even beyond it. They might have to actually. It does say that additional watch expansion possible across central Kentucky. So They may be expanding this watch down towards southern Kentucky over the next hour or two. You can see the time. They have a time frame here. I actually like this idea a lot. I might take this idea. I like this idea a lot where they just have the straight line. That's actually a great idea. I've been trying to figure out how to make timing maps for you guys to make it easier because I know a lot of folks have questions on timing. Um, but it's been that's actually a great idea. I never even thought about just straight up putting a line on the map and writing on it. But 1 p.m. In Hardin County, obviously these are probably Central Time if I had to guess, because there's no way this would be Eastern Time. Wait, this post is from 30 minutes ago. Yeah, I would assume that this post is in Central Time. Yes. Okay. That duh, they're based on Norman. Duh, George. So this would be 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Sounds about right. 3 p.m. Eastern Time down there for places like Campbellsville, going toward Glasgow, folks down there in South Central Kentucky. 4 p.m. Eastern Time for you folks near Somerset, going down there toward that portion of the state, and toward 5 p.m. Eastern Time if you're down there toward Harlan, maybe even like South London, Monticello area, down there in far southeastern Kentucky. So they may be expanding that watch here soon for us. Christy, the main show for today should be tonight. Lebanon, it's just that you have nothing around you right now. That's why it's sunny. So if you look, here's your city of Lebanon, and you have something all the way down here to the south, and then 100 miles back here to the west. So that's why you have it sunny. I do think you'll see this storm here in about a couple of hours. Lori, thank you for the update. I appreciate you. No, Kevin, I think there will be additional storms this evening. I think they just dropped southern Indiana out of the watch area, like we mentioned about 10 minutes ago. It's getting dark outside, folks. Here it comes. I'm going to post a picture of this radar real quickly to our Twitter. I thought we had someone on there, but I don't think they're on there right now. So I want to make sure the folks on Twitter are getting their information real quickly. Okay. I'm going to mute my computer real quickly so you guys don't have to hear that beep every time. If you guys hear that beep, it's usually am I okay? What am I doing here? Okay, there we go. My brain sometimes just decides to stop working. We're talking with the team in the background and it keeps dinging the computer. I don't think we're looking at a tornado risk for this round. Whoever was asking about that. Ricky, thank you for the update. I appreciate you. Whitney, I definitely think it's possible, especially out in Western Kentucky for this evening. Your time frame will be later on tonight. No power in Vine Grove again. Your all's power is always going out. Are your power lines okay? Your all's power is always going out. I swear to you, every time I look up, Vine Grove's power's out. I want to take a real quick look back here toward the winds. Once again, it's going right into that radar hole. If you look at that black dot there, that's where the radar is set up. So we're probably losing some information here. On the radar anyway, I'm not seeing the 60-mile-per-hour wind gust anymore. 40, yeah, I mean, I'm seeing like 40 to 50. But once again, I want to remind you that once these go into the radar hole, the radar information becomes a little bit unreliable at that point. So it's always best to assume your most recent reliable scan. And unfortunately, I don't have those big old fancy multi-thousand-dollar radars, but you don't need that. So if you're just not tuning in here, once again, I want to tell you, now that this is approaching a little bit closer here, E-Town, Shepherdsville, Mount Washington, Radcliffe, Southern Louisville, going toward Hodgenville. Why do they have a special weather statement box there and a warning? That has hurt my eyes. Going down toward Hodgenville, Sonora, Litchfield, Caneyville, and then back over toward Hartford, Kentucky. You're all included in a warning or in multiple warnings for 60-mile-per-hour wind gust and quarter-sized hail. So if we look at this, this is warned from, let's go ahead and take one more zoom out there. It's warned from here to here to here to here. So this side is not warned right now, and then this little notch up here is not warned, but the rest of it is, all for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So truly, if you're anywhere up next, Bardstown, Elizabethtown, just past Litchfield, going down toward Hart County, Munfordville, and those folks down there, you're next up after this as well, going down here toward Morgantown. Forgot what that was there for a second. Bowling Green, you would be next up after that. I think they will expand this watch here soon. They're probably waiting to see how this moves a little bit further. So, forgot to show you guys something. Oh, no. Okay. Time frame is for this warning or for this batch. This would be in a couple of hours for Bowling Green. They're not moving very fast. I would say about an hour, hour and a half for Bowling Green. The main time frame tonight though is 6 p.m. to about 1 a.m. Eastern time. Julie, thank you for the update there. Okay, that's great confirmation that the radar is just not seeing it right now. That these storms are still continuing to go. It looks it looks crazy outside. What the heck? I swear it was just bright. Hang on, let me see if I can show you guys. Let me pull up the preview real quickly. Okay. I can't really tell on the camera. It still looks bright on the camera, doesn't it? Yeah. Can't really tell on the camera. It was worth a shot. It was worth a shot. But it looks pretty nasty outside right now. No, there will be another round later on tonight, 6 p.m. to about 1 a.m. Eastern time is the main time frame. But I want to again just caution you guys that for that time frame, while we still feel like that's the most vulnerable time frame, there's not a guarantee that storms will actually occur. Now, in our eyeballs, we believe they will. But again, just kind of given last night, we have a little bit of hesitancy there. But this is not the only round expected today. Oh, I didn't put the gazebo down. Oh no. I actually meant to put that, at least the awning side of it down. Uh-oh. Well, it's about to get a real test. We're going to see if it was worth the money. Ooh, that wind is pushing out there. I can hear it through the window. Brandon, once it's safe to do so, make sure you send me some pictures. Hopefully everything goes okay out there. Really bad winds in Runnyville. Yeah, we're looking at 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts going throughout central Kentucky. I want to do a quick recap since we have a lot of new folks tuning in here. First of all, thank you guys for choosing WNK. We appreciate you. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts along with strong thunderstorm activities pushing through central Kentucky right now. We do have numerous severe warnings up basically from Shively to Mount Washington, Shepherdsville, Radcliffe, Elizabethtown, Rineyville, Vine Grove. Zooming in a little bit further here, going toward Hodgenville, Sonora, Litchfield, Caneyville. Up after that would be Bee Spring out there, going toward Munfordville. And then another warning back out here toward Beaver Dam, Hartford, Kentucky. All for 60-mile-per-hour wind gust. So that is technically damaging wind. So you have make sure you're inside, make sure you're away from things that could fall and get ripped down. Yeah, Bethany, that's that wind just shoving the rain. Greenville is not under a severe thunderstorm warning. Whoever was asking about asking about that on YouTube, you're under a severe thunderstorm watch. Those are two different things. A watch means just look out for it. A warning means it's actually happening. Sorry, my nose is stuffy today. Oh, I forgot to take my allergy pill last night because I was back here until like 5 a.m. Oh, goodness. It's going to be a long day for me. Emily, thank you. I'll look at those in just a minute. Asking about Cave City. Cave City is not technically included in the watch or the warning, but you still have a. I think this will probably be severe by the time it gets to you. If not, it'll be at least be very strong here in about an hour or so. Again, wind gust being the main threat. I'm gonna go ahead and go back to tilt one because the radar's not picking that up anyway. No tornado threat. Not with this round anyway. Amanda, thank you for that update. We appreciate you. Irock, thank you for that update out of Fort Knox. Woodsboro, this storm line is moving away from you. You'll soon be in the clear. At least from this round. I want to make it very clear that once again there is another round expected tonight, 6 p.m. to around 1 a.m. Eastern time. Genuinely, anytime within that window, storms could pop off. So that's why, unfortunately, we have a big window. But that's kind of what you get from summertime storms. They're very unpredictable, very unpredictable. A lot of weather folks will lose their credibility during the summer and in the winter. Okay, very unpredictable times. Spring is pretty easy. I'll tell you that. Spring is pretty easy. Fall is pretty easy. Summer, winter, very hard, very hard. Especially once you get toward the deeper part of the summer, where you're losing some things, but you have just unpredictable movement of storms sometimes. And wow, what is it coming down out there? It is coming down out there. By the way, if we lose power, I want to make a note real quickly. If we lose power, I believe that we do have some team members covering the Twitter. They are with the updates there at Weather Now KY over there on X or on Twitter. If we lose power, this is where we'll be updating first. So at Weather Now KY on Twitter, go ahead and hit that with a follow real quickly, so you can make sure you're staying up to date in case we lose power here, like we did yesterday with the internet outage. At Weather Now KY. Thank you for the star donations. I appreciate you guys. And he said it's very low. It's like 2 to 4%. Yeah, my internet's been struggling the last couple. I'm surprised I haven't had any issues yet on this broadcast. I think, I think maybe we have Brandenburg Telephone Company internet here. Usually, it's been phenomenal. We've had no issues compared to we had Spectrum for like 15 years, and we had just issues out the wazoo with Spectrum. With BBTEL, we genuinely have not had one issue until last night, unfortunately. But again, some of those things are out of those folks' control. I believe that their base is in Brandenburg. Brandenburg got hit with a really nice windstorm last night. If not, a quick spin of tornado may have impacted the internet, issues. Thank you, Roberto, for your stars. Lisa, with your stars as well. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys. Sarah, let's hope it stays on. I think the wind gusts we're looking at tonight are probably going to be a bit stronger for some folks than what we're seeing right now. Yes, I stream almost every time there's severe weather in Kentucky. We also have a Facebook and Twitter page that we post daily updates for weather in Kentucky as well. Whoever was asking over there on YouTube. Sorry if I'm stuttering today, guys. My nose is like completely stuffed up. Completely stuffed up. It's bad. Guys, right now this round is severe. And here's your severe watch. The pink or red. If you are in pink or red, you are under that severe watch. Although I think they could probably just go ahead and drop. If you're north of Louisville, I don't see anything happening up there. So if you're up there, they probably should drop you. But here's your main area right now. Once again, if you're just not tuning in here with us, we do have severe warnings active, basically from, let's say, Hardin County to Bullitt County, Jefferson County, going toward Nelson, but not including Nelson just yet. Going down here toward LaRue County, down toward Mumfordville, going down toward, I believe this is Bee Spring down here, Big Windy, and then back over here toward Hartford, Kentucky, going down toward Beaver Dam. All of those warnings are for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. I will inform you, though, at times on the radar, I've seen those wind gusts go up to 65 mile per hour. So just know that anywhere between 55 to 65 mile per hour wind gusts are probably ongoing if you're seeing a storm right now. Wow. It is pouring out there. We got a lot of rain last week. Richmond won't miss out on it, but I do believe by the time it gets to Richmond, that's a long way for that thing to travel. It should be weaker by the time it gets over there. But last night's round should have been weaker as well, and it really wasn't. So, again, with these summertime storms, guys, I don't take anything 100% verbatim. I always have a little reserve. I don't take anything verbatim with summertime storm systems. That's correct, Hamilton. We just don't look at anything outside of Kentucky. I want to measure these winds once again here, so let's go ahead and go back through here. Starting up here with the northern side, I don't see anything up there. Looks like we might have some strong wind gusts going through here. I do see a 62 mile per hour wind gust just recorded to the east of Fort Knox and Radcliffe. Looks like we might have a 60 mile per hour gust going on right now in Fort Knox. Down here toward Elizabethtown, I do see some 45 mile per hour wind gusts on the northern side of the city. On the southern side of the city towards Sonora, that might be a 70 mile per hour wind gust right there. And it is. A 70 mile per hour wind gust recorded just to the south of Elizabethtown going towards Sonora, Kentucky. So if you're in Sonora, Upton, and Hodgeville, even the southern side of E-Town, make sure you're staying off the roadways down there. 70 mile per hour winds will definitely shove your car around a little bit. Stay off the roadways down there. I do see some very, very broad rotation out here toward Litchfield, but that's on the back side of the line. It's kind of displaced. I'm not really seeing anything super indicative of anything there. That's probably just leading to the heavier rainfall rate that you see on the left side of your screen. So going back over here toward Beaver Dam, I don't see a whole lot going on here. Let's go ahead and take a measurement real quickly. This probably does not need to be severe warned at this point down here unless there's some hail going on that I'm not looking at right now. But again, the main wind gust at the moment look to be in Sonora and Upton, Kentucky. So let's go ahead and take a zoom in right here. Main wind gust right now looks to be 65 to 70 mile per hour approaching Sonora. This will eventually go toward Hodgeville and Upton, and then past that would be Bonneville and Magnolia, Kentucky down there and south central portions of the heart of the state. And then up after that, if it continues to hold together, will be Greensburg and Campbellsville, and maybe even Lebanon clipping in on that as well. Lots of lightning. You see the lightning strikes starting to show up now, finally. Sometimes the radar works, sometimes it does not work. But you see the lightning strikes beginning to show up now. Lots of lightning with these bad boys once again today. The thing that we have to look at now, as this storm starts to get more through Kentucky, what we'll look for over the next couple of hours is to see if our atmospheres can start the destabilization process again. And what I mean by that is when you have a big line of showers and thunderstorms that come through like this, it always leaves an impact. For example, let me go ahead and, this is just a gut feeling, but let me go ahead and pull this up real quickly. Yeah. So if you see here, here's where the storms have just went through, and you can see what it did to the atmosphere. And now there's deeper metrics than this, but this is just a great perspective for you. If you look over the storms just went through 70 degrees, 70 degrees. If you look just past the storms they have not gone through, 87 degrees, 87, 85, 89, even 90 down here toward Bowling Green, right? So if you look over the storms have gone through, you see what they've done to the atmosphere. Now there's more stuff to it than this. This is just a very basic example here. But it dropped the temperature by 20 degrees. So you have to think it dropped some other things like storm energy, like wind energy, right? So your environment, if there's enough time, will usually try to recover and destabilize again. What do we mean by that? The temperature will start to rise again. The dew point will start to rise again. Our wind energy, our instability will start to rise again. So what we're going to watch for now over the next couple of hours, was this storm strong enough to knock down a lot of our energies and keep them down and build in some inhibition, right? And build in some blocking for the storms, right? That's what we should watch now over the next couple of hours, because that will tell us a little bit about what may come tonight. So I want you to kind of look out for a post from us around 5 to 6 p.m. I'm gonna stay live here with you guys. I'm just letting you know that around 5 to 6 p.m. we'll probably make another post with some new details of what to expect tonight, because I do feel like the line that's this powerful might have a little bit of an impact. But also looking at it, it's a very thin line. We're not looking at wide showers here. We're looking at a very thin line, and I think tonight's impact area is mainly going to be Western Kentucky, going up and kind of swinging like this up toward I-65, and then you back over here to the circle. This is going to be your impact area for tonight. So I think that's a solid bet. Let me go ahead and pull up the and even the SPC is pretty on board with that. So you have the SPC here, has the highest risk, in central Kentucky and to the west, and just kind of expanding it to the east a little bit. Now, if the rain showers continue that we're seeing now, continue on, eastern Kentucky like Corbin and Williamsburg and Monticello, you'll probably be dropped back down to a 1 out of 5 risk for the 4:30 update coming up in a couple of hours from the SPC. Because once you get that much rain and once you get that much energy that's going to tank the other energy out of the atmosphere, it's hard for you to recover in time to produce severe weather. So it's kind of what we're looking at for now when it comes to tonight. But again, we'll have probably a post at around 5 to 6, maybe 7, but probably by 5 or 6 with updates for that. Well, these storms are moving at about a speed of 40 to 50 mile per hour. So storm activity is lasting in an area storm activity is lasting around 20 to 30 minutes in an area. So whoever was asking how long these are lasting, depends on how wide you are. So places like Sonora, you'll be in that storm for a little bit longer because look how wide the storm coverage is. Places like Radcliffe, you're in the line a lot smaller because while you're in the storm a lot shorter time because your line is a lot thinner. So whoever's asking about how long you're going to be in the storm just depends on how wide the line is that you're impacted by. For example, like Bardstown, you'll have this part of the line coming to you. That's probably only about a 15 to 20 minute show. Jesse, I haven't seen any rotation at all from the radar really. So here is another update from the wind gust checker here. Upton, you got a solid 60 to 65 mile per hour gust coming toward you. Upton, make sure that you're indoors right now. Sonora, you're undergoing that wind threat right now. Again, I'm not seeing any rotational radar at all, but these are some very strong straight line winds that are coming to Upton, Sonora, maybe even Bonneville and Hodgenville. E-Town's getting some solid wind gusts right now as well. New Haven will be up after that. And I do see some broad rotation out here toward Litchfield, but once again, it's displaced. It's on the back side of the line, and it's likely leading to that, if you look over here, that harder precip that's going on. No, this is not tornado weather. There's no tornadoes expected with this round. I'm sorry. I have tried to. I'm gonna actually write it. Let's see here. What in the world? What is all that? Yeah, Eton and Hodgeville line, that's definitely where the strongest wind gusts are right now. I measured 65 mile per hour winds ongoing there. Upton might be going up to 70 once again. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Let's see here. We do have a 70 mile per hour gust right there, just around Upton. Once again, if you're Upton, Sonora, you need to be indoors. These straight line winds, yes, they're straight line. They're not tornadic, but they are extremely strong. E-Town, let's go and take a measurement of this one. You have a 76.1 mile per hour wind gust ongoing right there just to the east of Elizabethtown. Sorry if you hear my dog, by the way. But a 76 mile per hour wind gust ongoing in Elizabethtown right now. You need to be off the roadways if you are there. This is a dangerous storm at this point. Hang on. I gotta see what this dog's barking real quickly. All right. Sorry, someone was at the door, I guess. That's why the dog was barking like that. We have a big old warning. Big old warning coming out here. This is going to be for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. I believe they could have gone for a 65 or 70-mile-per-hour threat there. This is now for Nelson, Greene, LaRue, Marion, Hart, Taylor, Washington, Bullitt, and Hardin County in central Kentucky. And this warning goes all the way until 3 p.m. Eastern Time. The storms are now slowing down. They're moving at a speed of about 25 mile per hour. The hazard is 60 mile per hour wind gusts, but of course, as you've seen us do on radar here, we have been measuring some stronger wind gusts than that. So let's go ahead and take a look back here once again. Just take a look around here. We do have some 65 mile per hour wind gusts showing up now in Hodgenville, Upton, Elizabethtown, Lebanon Junction now as well, getting in on the wind gust action. Going down here toward, let's take a look back out here. Still not seeing any big winds on there toward Beaver Dam. Let's switch radar, make sure. We might have something else going on in Beaver Dam. We're going to keep an eye on this area here a little bit. Beaver Dam, and then just south of that toward Morgantown. Let's keep an eye on that a little bit there. Some rotation absolutely going on there, but that might be leading to a nice hail core. Let's click on 1-inch diameter, 0.75-inch. Definitely some. This is the first like real rotation that I've seen. So this is the difference. Someone said there was rotation in Eton earlier. This is the difference right here. You have the red right next to the green. And you also have down here in the bottom right corner, you have the blues and greens showing up as that's showing something dropping or being lifted into the atmosphere. So this is definitely something we're going to keep an eye on down here. That's probably the first bit of rotation that we've seen today. Let's go switch back to the other radar here. Yeah, still seeing those 65 mile per hour gusts in Upton, Hodgeville, east of E-Town now, and Lebanon Junction. Just taking a look at the current analysis real quickly. Oh, this was for yesterday? No, we've been forecasting for the last few days that we had a threat on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. All different rounds. Thank you for the update out of Glendale. I appreciate you. Once again, we still have this is now becoming a wide batch of wind gust here. Just the south in Hodgenville, 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts all along here between Hodgenville and Upton. 60 to 70-mile-per-hour wind gust here. They're going to have to update that warning here very soon. Looking up here toward Lebanon Junction, still seeing some 65-mile-per-hour wind gusts going on up there. Same thing as Upton. Again, if you're just not tuning in here with us, we do have warning stretching from Bardstown to Elizabethtown, Lebanon, down toward Mumfordville, Horse Cave, Cave City, Hodgenville, Sonora, and then back over here toward Morgantown, all for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. But you could definitely clearly argue that these should be for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, especially for the ones near Upton to Sonora and Lebanon Junction. Lisa, I'm so sorry to hear that. Thank you for that report, though. Hodgenville currently has a severe storm ongoing. Whoever was asking about that. Callie, that's because of the cape behind it's making the color in the sky look a little different. Thank you guys for all the shares on the broadcast. I appreciate you guys helping us to share the information. You're helping to keep folks safe. Thank you guys so much for taking part in that. Oh, we still got all these wind gusts ongoing, huh? Just south of Lebanon Junction, we have 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts going on here. That says 87. That says 110-mile-per-hour gust. That's probably a little bit overzealous by the radar. I think you're probably still looking at 60 to 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, but we do see quite a few notches here. 95, 110, 95, 101. That's a lot of notches there that are showing that. But again, I think this might just be a radar issue. I mean, I can't rule it out, but if you look here, it's a bit displaced from where the actual rain is. So that usually tells us that this is probably more of the radar being a bit overzealous than that actually being the case. But it does look solid that there are at least 70-mile-per-hour winds ongoing. They probably need to update this warning. I believe, let's go ahead and restart the radar real quickly because I believe the severe watch has been updated. It'll probably pop up here very soon, but the severe watch has been updated. I'm going to go ahead and get this out real quickly. One second, I'm just getting the new watch out to the pages real quickly. All right. Those are out now. It's just still not updated? Come on, update. All right, well, I'll just pull it off the Twitter then. Pull it off the Twitter then. Severe thunderstorm watch has been expanded and extended all the way down into Tennessee. Isolated hail up to quarter size possible. The main threat's going to be scattered gusts up to 70-mile-per-hour likely and frequent lightning possible. This now includes all of, pretty much all of central Kentucky at this point, from Danville down to London to Bowling Green and everyone in between. And you still have that current watch that's active just to the north of that for places like E-Town, Louisville, and Owensboro. So pretty much all of central Kentucky now getting in, and southeastern Kentucky now getting in on the watch. And this does go until 9 p.m. Eastern time. I wonder why it's not updating over here, though. Might just be taking a minute. Again, if you're just now tuning in here with us, it's starting to look like this round might become the more dominant round. Again, with it going on this long here, it's kind of hard to believe that we'll have enough time to destabilize for another round. But models still show a second round coming in tonight between 7 p.m. to around midnight or so. But so we'll still keep an eye on them. They still have not updated these warnings yet. Let's go and take a look. I mean, that is a wall of 65 mile per hour winds, but can't put a 60 mile per hour warning on a storm that has 65 to 70 mile per hour winds. That's just misleading at that point. We have 70. I mean, we have wind gusts being recorded here at 86 mile per hour. Again, I think that might be a little bit overdone. I don't think it's probably accurate. We'll have to wait until the storm gets done to know about it. But these are some really strong straight line winds here. We're talking about almost hurricane force winds here across this entire line, really. Basically all the way from Lebanon Junction down toward Hodgeville, almost going down toward Upton still, just to the east of it. They're still talking about 60 to 75 mile per hour winds along that entire line. And I want to take a look back here once again. I want to take a look at this storm that's approaching now toward Morgantown. We saw rotation briefly on it before. There's some still there, but that's a lot weaker than what we saw. So concern is dropping a little bit on that storm. But again, you just have a massive wall of winds here. These should definitely be warned for greater than 60 mile per hour. And there's the watch. Now it's updated. So now you can see it. Wow, that's a big watch. Holy. No, we're not looking at any tornadoes. Yeah, we'd probably use some energy drinks, that's for sure. John, thank you for the update there out of Shepherdsville. Peggy, thank you for the update. Yeah, Hamilton, I just don't see a tornado threat tonight. Ashley, thank you for your 20 stars. I appreciate you. Okay, so once again, now everyone is included in that severe thunderstorm watch. If you are in red or pink, whatever color you want to call this, basically from London, Kentucky, and Manchester, Kentucky, Pineville, all the way back over toward Russellville, Greenville, Central City. By the way, once this storm line is passing you, they are dropping you from the watch. So once this storm line passes you, you're pretty much good for right now. Again, we still may have a round in a few hours. But when it comes to this round, at least, you are fine. So, again, we kind of see that because remember, when we first got on this broadcast an hour ago, that watch was all the way up in southern Indiana, and now there's no watch there or even in northwest Kentucky. So, it looks like once this line passes you, they're dropping you from the watch. Which I love. I love that they've started to do that now because there used to be a lot of folks getting confused. Like, hey, the line's already passed us, but we still have another watch for another 4 hours. Is there anything else coming? We'd have to tell them no, but they're also like, hey, we're still under a watch for 4 hours. I love it now. They're starting to get to the point where they're issuing the watch, and then once you're clear, they're not letting it go for another 4 hours. They're canceling it. I love that. I love that. It just helps to clear up communication. Michael, we still have another potential round later on tonight, but as for right now, you have at least a few hour break. Yeah, 60 to 70 mile per hour winds went on there, Jessica. Speaking of which, I want to measure this once again. I mean, it's just a massive wall of 70 mile per hour winds, at least 65 mile per hour winds. I mean, measuring here 68, 66, 66, 62, 67 right there. That says 120 mile per hour now. I don't think that's the case. But you just kind of get the point here 70, 65, 66. The warning needs to be for more than 60 mile per hour. One second, one second. All right, there we go. I hate when the camera's lagging like that. Brother Green, under that severe watch until another 6 hours. Oh, Cass, I'm sorry to hear that. That's correct, Denise. You're under that severe warning right now. You haven't even gotten to the worst of it yet. The worst of it's still, a few miles behind you. Look at that wall of winds. All the orange that you're seeing here is 65 plus, and that stretches from Lebanon Junction all the way down. I mean, that is a solid 45 mile stretch there of just winds, just a wall of winds. That's strange. They have the damage threat considerable 70 mile per hour tag now on the Morgantown portion of the warning. Let's go ahead and take a look over there. Which office is that? Interesting, interesting, interesting. We do have a severe, considerable threat out of Morgantown. Let's go ahead and read the bulletin there. Butler County and southeastern Ohio County. Hazardous 70 mile per hour wind gusts and half dollar sized hail. Locations impacted include Morgantown, Casey, Lee, Rochester, Woodbury, Brown Hill, Mining City, Dimple, Aberdeen, and Leetown, Kentucky. For your protection, move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a building. So you would treat this almost like a tornado warning at this point because you're talking about 70 mile per hour winds that could be quite destructive. Yes, Jenna, a little bit weaker when it was in E Town, but yes, you did have at least 60 mile per hour wind gusts in E Town. Look at those winds just continue to rage on through. Let me go ahead and give a text real quickly. Bardstown got about 10 minutes till it gets there. 10 to 15 minutes. Western Kentucky, your time frame is more of tonight, I think. In my eyeballs. Hang on, Mike sent me something real quickly. I don't care about that. Look at what this storm line is doing to the temperatures real quickly. Look at this. 87 to 86, 89 down here in southern Kentucky where they have not been hit yet. And look at the temperatures it's left behind. 69 degrees now in Elizabethtown, Kentucky, where it just got done going through there. So it is really taking on the temperatures. By the way, I want to take a real quick look here. Your precip amounts the last 2 days are ranging anywhere between 1 to 3 inches throughout the state. I think these are a little bit underdone too, because I definitely know that we got more than 0.9 inches the last 2 days out of Hardin County. Morgantown, you're still under a considerable damage threat. If you're in Morgantown, Woodbury, along I-165 down there toward Leetown and Needmore, make sure you're staying indoors off the roadways. You're under a considerable damage threat from 70 to 75 mile per hour winds ongoing out there. These folks over here toward New Haven, Lebanon, going toward Bardstown, down toward Campbellsville and Saloma, Kentucky, you're not under a considerable threat technically, but on our radar, we're measuring 65 to 72 mile per hour winds. You should definitely be under some sort of heightened threat. So make sure you're treating it like you are as well. As you can see here, evidenced by the orange that you're seeing, those are 70 mile per hour winds. 64, 67. Going on here, 71, 72, 70. Up here toward New Haven, you got 72, 62, 87, which might be a little bit overdone, but you get the point. 69. And then even up here toward Bardstown, now you're starting to get a little bit of a wind gust going on there at 70 mile per hour. So this should honestly be a considerable threat as well. Jenna, that's just yet to be seen at this point. Now we kind of just watch and we look at the temperatures and we just kind of watch very closely what it does to the other profiles on things, and we just kind of keep an eye on things. It's just a little too early to tell on that. They've gone ahead and put out warnings for. Wow, that's a long advance on that warning. Warnings now already extend, and you still got a while until it gets to you. But the warnings now that are coming out for Tompkinsville, Burkesville, Jamestown, Glasgow, Edmonton, Columbia, Russell Springs, I already said Jamestown, Campbellsville, Liberty, Stanford, Perryville, Lebanon, Kentucky. You're now under that warning for 60 mile per hour wind gusts there. So this entire line, I believe, is now warned, right? Pretty much the entire line. You got there to there, and you have here to here to here to here to here. So you only have this part, and this little bitty baby part up here. That's not severe warned. So pretty much this entire line is warned right now. This looks almost. I gotta go back and check this because I'm like losing my mind thinking about this. I have to go back and check this. 1 second. Yeah, it does. Take a look at this. So this is the line that was supposed to come through last night. All right. Take a look at this. This is the line that's supposed to come through last night. There's your line, right? And then look at the actual lines coming through now, nearly, what, 16 hours later. That's all. That's pretty wicked. That is pretty wicked. I mean, it's almost the same line, just smaller. Just cut out the edges of this, and then you have almost the same exact line. That's pretty interesting. That just kind of tells you the kind of the pattern that we're in. We're going to have multiple days of the same thing. You know, starting from last night, going to now, going to Wednesday, maybe even Thursday as well. Just a very repetitive pattern coming up here, or that we're in the middle of, really. Will Indiana get storms? We don't really cover Indiana, my friend. You'd have to find somebody up there, just to be honest with you. I mean, southwestern Indiana, we do look at there a little bit because it's right next to Kentucky. You'll see some storm activity later on tonight. But as for the rest of Indiana, I don't know. There's so much lightning going on with this. I don't know why the lightning isn't working. I need detection. Turn that on. There we go. Look at all the lightning that's involved with this. I mean, we got lightning bolts everywhere. Everywhere along this line. There is a lot of lightning. You're going to hear a lot of loud thunder, especially as this rolls through. Once again, if you're just not tuning in here, we have severe warnings all the way from Elizabethtown to Monticello, Kentucky. Bowling Green, you'll be up here very soon. Smiths Grove, you'll be up here very soon. Russellville, as well as Lewisburg, you'll be up soon as well. All for 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. I want to take a check back in once more. We're still seeing wind gusts going on now. It looks like it's starting to shift more down toward the Greensburg and Campbellsville area. Basically, right here is where your highest winds are at the moment. Again, stretching from Greensburg to Campbellsville, going up toward Loretto, just past New Haven, going toward Bardstown, Kentucky. Those are all 60 to 70 mile per hour winds that you're seeing through there. Those oranges and those yellows are all 65 plus. So you're still seeing some wind gusts ongoing out there. This might be turning into a baby derecho at this point. Holy cow. I believe that this started up here. I believe. I'll have to go back and look. I was sleeping this morning. And now here we are down here. Usually for derecho, it's got to go on for a long time. Right now, it's only at about 119 miles, which is still quite impressive. But it's got to go on for a long. I have to go back and look at the actual specific guidelines of a derecho, because you got to be very careful with the terminology. I don't know why people get so sensitive about it these days, but it is what it is. But it's. I mean, you could certainly make an argument for it. Bowling Green, you're now under severe warning for the next 36 minutes for 60 mile per hour winds. That'll be coming up there with that line. And Smiths Grove, you're not included in that, but you probably will still feel the effects of it. Look at this thing just trek its way through Kentucky. Let's go ahead and put this in motion here real quickly. I just want to show you. Let's go ahead and look at the last 30 frames. Just put this in motion real quickly. You get to see it come all the way from southern Indiana down toward Kentucky. And watch it just grow in its size as well. Looks like it's strengthening. Let's go ahead and put it on a little bit further here. I want to do 50 frames, so just kind of look at the history of it. Looks like it started to grow just past the river, and now it's really starting to intensify now. Because and it makes sense because now we're getting toward 3 o'clock. We got some more heating from the sun in those places down there in southern Kentucky. We have more energy to work with down there in southern Kentucky as well. So that's why they're going ahead and they're putting these warnings out in such advance, because all signs point to this continuing to strengthen. Sirens should not be going off. The sirens in Mercer County might be going off because of the considerable threat damage tag that it has. I'm not sure the county's policies there. Nicole, if you see another round, it'll be later on tonight. Ricky, thank you for that update there. Sorry to hear that. What about Pikeville, Kentucky? I think you're too far east. You might be clipped by the northern portion of this line, but I think you're quite a bit far east for the main impacts. We'll continue to watch it though for you. Monticello, you're on that severe watch for another 6 hours, so you can expect wind gust threat through that time frame. I am live, Jen. I need to thank you for the update there. I appreciate you. I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quickly. We've been on live here for about an hour and a half at this point. I've drunk a lot of water and coffee. I need a little bathroom break if you guys don't mind. Of course, while I'm gone, don't forget to share the video and comment any questions, and we'll try to get back to me very soon. Just give me a few minutes. All right. Sorry about that. Little human nature. Okay, let's go back in here. 60 mile per hour, so no changes to any of the warnings so far. I do see a new warning out here toward Greenville now. Greenville, Belton, and Rochester now under that same 60 mile per hour wind gust threat. Heads up, Campbellsville, you got a lot of wind coming your way. Lots of wind coming your way. Looks like we had a solid. Now this is showing a solid 75 to 80 mile per hour threat here in Campbellsville, Kentucky. And even down toward Greensburg, I'm still seeing a 65 to 70 mile per hour threat there. I still don't know why this is not considerably warned. Is the audio not working? Or can you guys not hear me? Someone's having a problem with the audio? Might have to restart their broadcast. I think I'm still good here. I'm gonna take a look here. I'm just doing some. Here, I'll go ahead and zoom in a little bit for you guys so you see a little better there. I'm also going to turn these tracks off. It's just too much radar clutter. Where the heck is it at? There we go. That looks a little better there. I'm going to do some analysis real quickly. Yeah, the data is still pointing toward the environment being able to recover in time. Lexington or just south? I think just south. The southern part of Metro Lexington might be hit by it, but more so toward Nicholasville and then point south. Oh, okay, okay, I got you. No, Lee, there was always the potential for this one this afternoon. We just didn't take it with. We took it with a grain of salt. I think I mentioned it very briefly yesterday. We were more so looking at the nighttime time frame, but when you're dealing with summertime storms, they always leave outflow boundaries, and all it takes is one little storm to get to that outflow boundary, and it ignites it. An outflow boundary is something that's left from a previous storm that almost like if you were to take a what's a good metaphor? A can of gas, right? And you pour that gas in a line on your street, right? All it takes is for you to take a match and light one side of that line, and now the whole line is going, right? It's the same thing here. We had a small storm system that came through, western Indiana and eastern Illinois, and what it did is it got to Kentucky, well, yeah, southern Indiana, and it ignited, right? And as this thing has gone south, it's ignited more and more of that entire line from that boundary from last night, or from the overnight time frame, I should say, from this morning. So that's kind of why this is occurring. So we know why it occurred. It's just a matter of models didn't really see this at this point. But when you talk about summertime storms, that they're very unpredictable, very unpredictable on these things happening where you have one little storm that's going through and it sparks an entire line. That's why we're always just watching the radar for you guys. Really, Denise? Holy cow! Again, any time between now and 1 a.m., guys, really. So I know that's a massive time frame to worry about. But genuinely, again, when you're dealing with these summertime systems, because eventually this one's going to push down to the south, right? And it's going to leave a boundary once again. And all it takes is, if you look up here in this left corner here, is one more storm to get to that boundary. And now you're talking about a reignition all over again. So that's why the window is so big, and it is really unfortunate because I like to give tighter windows for you guys so you have better expectations of what to expect. But again, all it takes is one. All it takes is one to get to that boundary and ignite the whole thing. So it's just all about if the environment, recovers or not. And here we're already starting to see some signs of that occurring because remember, if we look back here before, the storm line came through this area. Let's say, for example, Henderson County in Henderson, Kentucky. The storm line went through there about an hour and a half ago, and it's already come all the way back up to 79 degrees. It's already coming back up to where it was before the storm happened. So we're already seeing signs, right, that the environment is beginning to recover. If you look at where the storm line is now, down here it's 72, 69 degrees, 69, 68 degrees. If you start to look behind where that storm was an hour ago, we'll notice here now and over the next hour is toward that river, we'll start to see those temperatures come back up. So we'll check in on this again. And even that update right there, it climbed another half a degree in that 5 minute span. So, it's already beginning the recovery process. For example, Meade County was 67 degrees after the storm line got done there about 45 minutes ago, and now it's already back up to 71. So, again, we're going to continue to watch these, but we're already starting to see some signs of a very quick recovery of the atmosphere. Yeah, it's scary, Caitlin, but just know there's no tornado threat. When will the storm line be past Bardstown? It looks like it's already starting to get that way. Probably only have a few minutes left. With the temperature going up, what does that mean for the second round? It doesn't really mean anything, but it just gives us, there's far more to it, but just on the surface, it gives us an idea of how the environment is recovering, right? Now, if this was to stay at 70 degrees after the line pushed through, right, now you're talking about storms not having as much heat energy to work with, not having as much instability to work with. With that temperature climbing back up, it also allows the dew points to come back up. It allows for more moisture. It allows for more instability, aka cape, or energy for the storms to go. So just looking at that temperature, right, it can give us a few hints as to what's occurring behind the scenes, that we're not really necessarily looking at the current moment. But I can show you right here. So this is a really wild looking map. This is a really wild looking map. But this shows us the cape that we're talking about, the energy for the storms. But it also shows us the SIN, or aka convective inhibition, which we've talked about that the last couple of days, that allows storms to try to be blocked. As you can see, as the storm line comes through, it is leaving a lot of SIN behind it, right? The blue is the SIN. That's pretty deep amount of SIN there, right? But if we go forward on this model, which is this is using the RAP model, you can see that after 2 hours, boom, it's gone, right? No more blue there. And then after 4 hours, boom, there's a lot of CAPE. 5,500 joules of CAPE is a lot. That's usually what you see down in Texas. That does not mean we're going to see, robust historic severe weather, but it just goes to show you that the environment does have a very solid chance of recovering. No, we haven't had one tornado warning in Kentucky today. Wind is wild in BG. Yeah, they were still looking talk. We're still talking about 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. Campbellsville, and then just past it, still the hot spot for the winds right now. Looking at 70 mile per hour winds ongoing there. Let's go and take a look down here toward BG for you guys real quickly. Load. Hello. Thank you. Not seeing a ton there with the wind speeds, but I can't deny it. Something about BG that always in the southern area, it always takes quite a while. 60 mile per hour winds the threat for Bowling Green. 60 mile per hour winds the technical threat from Glasgow to Columbia to Campbellsville to Danville, and then down toward Jamestown and Brussels Springs and Burkesville. But again, we are measuring wind speeds up to 70 mile per hour there as well. Moving on about a speed of 25 to 45 mile per hour. Again, the second round is really any time between now and 1 a.m. Genuinely, guys. Auburn, thank you for the update out of E-Town. There's no tornado threat. No tornado. No tornado. No tornado. I'm gonna do a radar post for X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, real quickly. All right. What about Glasgow? Under that severe warning for 60-mile-per-hour wind gust. Whoever's asking about the Monticello, the Wayne County time frame, looks like about, you have that stretching out for you now, but I think the main bulk of it about 45 minutes. Here, I don't see a tornado threat for Bowling Green on YouTube. It's like the winds are starting to calm a little bit. I stress a little bit. Looks like we're talking about a 60 to 65-mile-per-hour threat now, and that's heading for Columbia, Liberty, Russell Springs, Edmonton, Glasgow, back over again toward Bowling Green, and then up toward Bradfordsville, Houstonville, and just to the east of Springfield, Kentucky. Stop this one warning back out here toward Greenville as well. Just kind of lagging behind there. Again, for 60-mile-per-hour winds, the threat there. Yeah, I mean, there's a possibility for another watch tonight, but again, with given the unpredictability of tonight, it's just a matter of a wait and see game. Matter of fact, the National Weather Service is already on it. And new severe thunderstorm watch may be needed downstream, which means in a few hours, damaging wind potential increasing through the afternoon. You can see that our storm line for western Kentucky later on tonight is already developing out here toward western Illinois, eastern Missouri. That'll track down toward western Kentucky later on tonight. So, again, it's already starting to get going. If we go ahead and take a look up here, you'll see. Let's go ahead and take that radar. You can already see that it's already beginning to get going out there, and that will slowly make its way toward western portions of Kentucky, maybe even central portions of Kentucky later on tonight. So we do have some confirmation that there will likely be a second round tonight. and that is about. Let's go into let's take a little measurement here. Let's just do like right there. That is 230 miles. If they're moving at about a speed of let's say 60 mile per hour, just for very simplest terms, you get 60 miles in 1 hour. One, two, three, about 4.5 to 5 hours until it gets here. So you're looking at about 8 o'clock Eastern time. Just real quick math there. It might be a little bit inaccurate. But real quick math there, looks like about 8 o'clock Eastern time. So you have 5 hours for our environment to recover. I think that's plenty of time. That's plenty of time. The watch, this current watch probably won't be expanded anymore. It's already including all of Southern Kentucky, but there might be a new watch. This watch up here, you'll probably notice over the next couple of hours that it will slowly make its way to the south, just like this one did. Remember this watch, right? It started up here, and then it came down here, and now it's all the way, and it came down here, and now it's all the way down here. So you can kind of watch. It's a lot easier to see coming. You can just kind of open up your radars on your apps or whatever it might be, wherever you see your watches at. You can kind of just watch the watches just slowly track south. I want to measure these winds once more. We have a nice burst of winds coming up now just south of Columbia. So again, toward Russell Springs, Jamestown, Columbia, and Burkesville. Be on the lookout there. It looks like a nice solid 65 mile per hour wind gust going on there. Back over toward Bowling Green, still looking at a 60 mile per hour wind threat there. Up toward Bradfordsville and just east of Campbellsville, going toward Liberty now. 65 mile per hour wind gust ongoing there as well. No, we'll not be here before 5, Stacy. Unless something just pops up out of nowhere. Yes, Tabby, you're about to be under a severe thunderstorm warning, probably here very soon. I think you're looking at 60 mile per hour wind gusts being the threat there as well. Robbie, thank you for the update out of Hardin County. I appreciate you. Flash flood warning now going up for let's go ahead and read this for Hart County. It is observed, so it's not just a radar indicated, it is observed. Local law enforcement reported thunderstorms producing heavy rain in northwest Mumfordville. Between 2 and 3 inches of rain have fallen. Additional rainfall amounts up to 1 inch are possible in the warned area. Flash flooding is occurring in northwest Mumfordville, or northwest of Mumfordville, I should say. So looking like probably this area here toward Mackin, Kessinger, Big Windy, Kentucky. Caleb, thank you for the update there. Appreciate you. Again, next up was it looks like it's right through Bowling Green now. I-65. Be on the heads up if you're driving on I-65 and I-165 down there just south of Bowling Green. Be on the heads up there. Might want to pull off to the side of the road or get off the next exit. 65 mile per hour winds are nothing easy to drive through at all. So we want to give a shout out to down there real quickly to get off the roadways if you guys can. Once again, next up here is going through Edmonton now, down towards Cyclone, Marrowbone, Breeding, Kentucky next up there. Over toward Jamestown, Russell Springs, you're about to get hit by some 60 mile per hour wind gust there. Liberty, Kentucky to Perryville as well. A 60 mile per hour winds the threat there. This is all going to go south of Georgetown. That's why we haven't really talked about Georgetown very much. Georgetown's here. The closest thing is here, and it's heading this way, so it's going away. How long before it moves out of Lebanon? Probably like 5 minutes. It's already on the east side of Lebanon. All right, my jaw's sore today. A lot of talking. Ashley, thank you for 20 stars. I appreciate you. Look at all the counties listed in this warning here: Russell County, Taylor County, Casey County, Adair County, Lincoln County, Mercer Counties, Clinton, Greene, Monroe, Washington, Boyle, Cumberland, Barron, Metcalfe County. That's a lot of counties for one warning. Holy. Thank you for that update, Haley. Say 60-mile-per-hour winds the main threat there. Well, I mean, Alex, you got some 60 to 65-mile-per-hour wind gusts going to be in your location in about 30 to 45 minutes. It probably will rip the siding off of the trailer if it realizes its full potential, but it shouldn't be anything life threatening. Whoever was asking about hazard, I don't think this impacts you. I think this goes just south of you. No tornadoes. No tornadoes. No tornadoes. I think this just misses Fort Campbell. Whoever was asking about that. Whoever was asking about Edmonson County, this is already past you. Sheena with the 100 stars. Thank you so much for your donations. Says hi from Hopkinsville. Hello, how are you? New warning just went up for Somerset, Monticello, going toward Williamsburg, not including Williamsburg. 60-mile-per-hour winds the threat there because of this Boeing line right here. It'll be in your area here very soon. Fabiola, sorry to hear that. Thank you for your report. Super dark in Auburn. Yeah, lots of very heavy low clouds with these, so it's going to look very dark outside, even after it passes you. I think it's time to switch radars. Unfortunately, there's no really good radar for this down here. We'll have to stay on the Louisville one, I suppose. Still seeing some solid 65-mile-per-hour gust. 68.7, 68 there, just to the east of Campbellsville. We're still looking at 66, 68, 67, 69. So still above 65 mile per hour, and that one's heading toward Liberty, and then down toward Science Hill after that. Oh, I know, Kara. It's obviously very nice to have the temperature drop. Peggy, if there is a second round, it'll be sometime between 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. Before it's out of Taylor County. It looks like it's nearly out. Maybe another 10 minutes or so. I'm gonna go grab some more water and check in on the wife and stuff real quickly, and make sure the baby's still doing okay. You guys know I have a newborn. Just want to make sure everything's still going okay. I'll be back here in a couple moments. I'll leave the radar up here. I'm not going anywhere. Just taking a real brief pause for a second, if you will. All right. I'm still here, guys. I'm still here. Every once in a while, you got to walk around for a second because the legs will get sore. I also want to check in on the baby. By the way, the severe thunderstorm warning for Bowling Green has been canceled, and there is no new severe warning out there as of now, which kind of makes sense. Usually, when these lines keep going, they will usually favor the eastern side of the line. So that's what we're seeing now is kind of going more toward the east. Still some very heavy rainfall, lots of lightning, and probably still some solid wind gusts going on out there, but no longer severe at this point. And of course, it can go back to being severe at any time. Take a quick measurement here of the winds. Looks like we're starting to get. I think we're starting to get the storm to fall apart. I think it's what we have ongoing right now. Yeah. I don't want anyone to let their guard down, but it's starting to fall apart a little bit. Now there's still some significant wind gusts ongoing, from Monticello to Columbia to Somerset, even back out here toward Marrowbone, Burkesville, Stanford, Liberty, Kentucky. You're still all probably going to experience some nice wind gusts, but what we're starting to see is it's starting to get down here toward this activity and starting to create a little bit of an outflow boundary. And what that's going to do is going to cause a lot of rain. But it helps to pull the storm apart a little bit. Now, what's going to happen here, I want to actually point this out real quickly. What's going to happen is when that outflow boundary gets placed, it's slowly going to get pulled back up here to the northeast. Very, very ever so slowly get pulled up here to the northeast. And then you're going to have that stuff coming out from Illinois and Indiana and Missouri, and it's going to smack into it. And it's going to reignite it, and that's going to be your line that comes through tonight. So things are starting to get laid in place here for tonight's round. Yeah, Caitlin, because you have the wind gust is going to come through. It's going to push it. It's going to go sideways, and it's going to come back when it calms down. It's going to push it, kind of like a swing. I want to say real quickly, thank you guys for all the shares and the likes on the broadcast today. All the new subscribers on YouTube, all the thumbs ups over there. Thank you guys a lot for your support. We appreciate that. That's what we're here for, Zlavita. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. Again, next up to be impact, that's going to be Jamestown, Marrowbone, Burkesville, Monticello, Somerset, Science Hill, Liberty, Russell Springs, Stanford, more specifically Highway 127 in Houstonville and Butchertown here. And you're still going to have thunderstorm activity outside of this, like, for example, Franklin, Scottsville, even into Russellville and Fountain Run. But that side of the line is currently not severe at this time. Cody, it can be anywhere between 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern Time. We're already starting to see that line get going out here. If I click on this radar up here toward, St. Louis, we're already beginning to see that line getting going. It will grow slowly as it heads here. It will grow again as it heads here. It will grow again as it heads here. It will grow again. And then it'll impact probably, if I had to draw a little map, I would say something like this for right now. Can that change? Absolutely. But as of right now, that's kind of where I feel like the impact areas for tonight are. And again, I'll go ahead and pull up the SPC's forecast for you, because if I had to make a map for tonight, it would probably look a lot like this. So here you go. Here's the map. Level 2 out of 5 risk exists from basically from Shelbyville to Louisville down toward Corbin, and then back over to the west toward Paducah, including places like Bowling Green, Addisville, Owensboro, Elizabethtown, so on and so forth. Pretty much the same places that are going to be impacted as of right now. But I think your bigger impact areas are definitely out in western Kentucky, like places like Henderson, Madisonville, Paducah, down toward Murray, Mayfield, Benton, going over toward Hopkinsville. I think that's your main focus for tonight. And then just to the east of that, places like Litchfield, Bowling Green, going toward Franklin, and then back over toward or up toward Owensboro, including places like Hardinsburg, Elizabethtown, those type of places just to the east of the main area. I think you still see some storm activity tonight. I think the higher wind gusts will be out in western Kentucky. Basically, if you were to take your eyes and just kind of imagine that this orange zone was stretched out to include western Kentucky, that's where the main impact area would be here. And then just to the east of that, or just to the right of that, would be your secondary impact area. And then further out toward like Lexington, Frankfort, Prestonburg, London, Covington, I don't think you'll see much at all tonight. Shoot, the body is tired, you all. The body is tired. It's been a while since we've done this. And then we got to do it on back to back, and potentially on Wednesday as well. Just so much rain coming in with these this week too. So here you go. Here's the temperature. Let's check in back in on this again. Remember that this line was started out on the northwestern portion of the state, dropped the temperature all the way down to about 67 to 69 degrees. Now Henderson is back up toward 83 degrees, going over here toward Union County, 88 degrees over there. By the way, if you're out here in western Kentucky, Marshall County, Paducah, Murray County, all the way out there in west Kentucky, you might want to stay inside for a different reason today. The heat indexes out there are probably approaching something ridiculous. If I can see, let's see here. Oh yeah, look at this. Heat index out there in Ballard County is 110 degrees. That is enough to cause heat stroke issues. Make sure you're staying inside if you are anywhere out here. By the way, for a completely different reason. 110 degrees on the heat index out there in West Kentucky. Checking in on the dew points real quickly. Dew points are steadily rising as well. This is why the heat index is so high out there. Look at the dew point in Ballard County at 81. Oh my gosh. Have you ever been in a sauna or extremely hot shower? That's exactly what it feels like out in western Kentucky right now, just all over the place. That's disgusting. 81 for a dew point is flat out disgusting, y'all. Flat out disgusting. You do not want to be outside if you're over there. Holy smokes. Because of all the strong storms today, I haven't really been looking too much at the temperatures, but my goodness. Holy. That's got me sweating just thinking about it. Approaching or going over 60 mile per hour. It's starting to weaken quite a bit. You'll see those winds are really spreading out now. Now we're seeing 62s, 64s instead of seeing the 70s. So it looks like it's starting to taper down now, guys. A lot of rain behind this as well. It looks like going back up here toward northern central Kentucky. Lots of rain behind this starting to develop. So that could help keep our environment stable for tonight. I don't know how much it will help. But right now, if I had to give you a picture for tonight, just based off of what I'm looking at here, it's probably looking something like this for tonight's threat, once again. And then the main area is going to be definitely out here, where I'm drawing these little hatches. And they just dropped... Wait, what? Let's turn my radar real quickly. Yeah, there it goes. It just dropped a lot of folks out of that severe watch. Again, once this line passes you, you're out of the first watch of the day. So everyone back out here, you're now out of the watch. Now we will watch these areas to see if they destabilize to support tonight's severe threat, right? We know it will happen out western Kentucky. By the way, western Kentucky has not seen a thing. We just looked at their heat index. It's 110 out there. So we know that this environment is unstable. We know that. This environment over here is starting to work on getting unstable. So we'll see how that trends tonight. We'll see how that trends over the next few hours for tonight's threat, I should say. What's your opinion on tonight's storms? I think it's a lot like right what we're seeing right now, just with the western shift. I think it's a lot like what we're seeing right now. So instead of this line impacted, this line's in this morning or in this afternoon has impacted mainly this area, right? I think tonight we're looking at the same type of risk, but instead, once again, it's over here. So I think that's what we're looking at for tonight. Same, pretty much the same storm system. Might be a little bit more windy with the next wave. I definitely think there's definitely a better chance to see some 70-mile-per-hour, even plus winds for the next wave, especially places like Paducah, Sturgis, Henderson, maybe even Madisonville, Murray. And then the same threats will persist for places like E-Town, Owensboro, Brandenburg, Meade County, Breckenridge County, Grayson County, going off in between there as well, Ohio County. So I definitely think it's pretty much the same line, just in a different area. Exactly, Lee. I do have a feeling because we're already seeing it pop off with severe warnings up here, and we know this outflow boundary is going to drift up to the northeast. I definitely think we're still looking at pretty much the same impacts. It's just a matter of if and when at this point. But we still have some things that need to be determined that only time will tell. April, that's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. Hmm. Okay, on every radar that I'm looking at here, I'm seeing a little bit of rotation down here toward Monticello. It's not a lot, but this might lead to some enhanced wind gust as well as enhanced rainfall rates. So if your Monticello heads up, a very, very, very strong thunderstorm is about to be in your area if it's not there already. Again, still kind of just seeing a little bit of rotation there. It's not a lot, but it's enough to enhance very briefly the wind gusts and whatnot that are going on there. We're also seeing something a little interesting over here toward Burkesville as well. The radar's trying to indicate a 100-mile-per-hour wind gust there. I think that's probably a little bit overdone, but you can definitely tell that in Burkesville some reversing winds are going on there as well. Let's switch to a different radar. Just take a quick peek at that once again. Okay, on a different radar, I don't really see it as strong. So thankfully, I think that was just a radar hiccup there. Again, where these storms are now, they're kind of running into a radar gap a little bit. So some of these images are going to look a little bit concerning, but it might also just be the radar trying to compensate for where it's losing data, and where it's compensating is trying to overdo it. Thankfully, there's nothing occurring in Franklin rotating wise, at least on radar aspect anyway. Tornado risk is extremely low, Grim. Extremely low. Looks like we have two warnings left at this point. The one big warning out here from Monticello to Somerset, Science Hill, going toward um, Marsh's sighting out there in southeastern Kentucky, and then again back out here for Albany, Burkesville, Tompkinsville. Under that severe warning as well, all for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts being the threat. We still have some strong thunderstorm activity going out here for Franklin, Russellville, Scottsville, Fountain Run, but again, those are not severe. What in the world is that noise? 1 second, guys. What in the? Someone is mowing. That's what I was hearing. What in the world? There's no way I'm hearing a mower, so I thought it was something else. Someone is mowing. Some people need to find hobbies, man. There's no way you're out here mowing when there's lightning going on a big piece of metal. What? What in the world? Oh man, only Kentucky. I swear to you guys. I swear to you. No, no tornadoes. No tornadoes. Monticello, you are under a severe warning for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts that are probably moving in here very soon if they're not there already. Uh, it is Kentucky. I swear, people just love mowing, man. I mean, I like it too as much as the next guy, but I'm not doing it while there's lightning ongoing. That's for sure. I don't think so, Simba. I don't think that's what we're talking about here. Hopkinsville, you're missing out on this first wave. You're looking more at later on tonight, past about 7 p.m. Oh yeah, Chandra, it's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah, Daniel, we got a 60 to about 65-mile-per-hour wind gust moving along with that line there in Monticello. You said that was Burkesville? That's really interesting because that's where we saw that 82-mile-per-hour wind gust on the radar. Yeah, it's still showing. It's showing 113-mile-per-hour wind gust down there. Now, again, it's going into a radar hole. That's why we're seeing a bunch of different colors right here. Like if you look up here where it's all nice one color, that's pretty normal. It's pretty standard. When you start going down here, you start seeing a bunch of different colors here. That's the radar overcompensating. So I think 100, 100 plus mile per hour is probably a bit overdone. But anywhere from Burkesville to Monticello right now, you're probably seeing some, significant wind gust. At least 65 mile per hour going on down there. So definitely going to be able to cause some damages. That's why we've been trying to get folks to get inside. No, and I think in Georgetown. No action there today, and I don't think there will be any action there tonight, but we'll see how far that line stretches. South Logan going to get anything out of this one? You got a strong thunderstorm pushing in through there now, but I don't think you're looking at anything severe. Lauren, I'm sorry to hear that. I have no idea what that zip code is, LO. I have no idea. Can you give me the city? I can't memorize zip codes. I'm not that good, guys. Tori, where are you referring to? So I can give you a better answer. Gotta put some oil on my chair. It's creaking. It's creaking. I'm really amazed that these storms are still going. By the way, because look at this. So this usually for storms like this number needs to be over at least 150. The only spot we see that is out here north of Oklahoma and Kansas. It's not anywhere near that here. If you go to look at this one as well, Barely any wind energy out there. The better wind energy is back up there toward northern Missouri and western Illinois. If you look at the Cape values are there, but we also have a lot of sin building in. So this blue blob that you're seeing here is helping to block storms from being able to go. Now this will eventually move out of the way tonight and allow our later round to come through. But this is what we're talking about with these summertime storms. We can forecast these all day long and try to plan for them, but really, really, guys, they just do what they want. They just do what they want. Cox's Creek, I also have no idea where that's at. Can I get a bigger city near that? You guys have to remember, there's a lot of small towns that may be familiar to you, but for people that are not around exactly where you're at, I'm not going to know exactly where they're at. Like, for example, I live in Radcliffe. I wouldn't expect someone that's not from this area to know where this little small town of Radcliffe is, right? So I need a bigger city if you can. Yeah, she looks like it's still just a little bit north of you. CC's near Hardinsburg or close, right? Okay, that gives me a little better pinpoint here, if that's the case. I still don't see it. Barstown or E-Town, you're close to that? Oh, okay. I found you. But see how far I had to zoom in to get that? If I go out here, even out here, it doesn't show up, so that's why I didn't know where you were. Cox's Creek, you're in that area near Barstown. That's kind of our edge of our line for tonight. So I think we're looking at something that's looking like this for tonight. This would be the impact area for tonight. It all depends on how far that line stretches to the east. I could see a scenario where it reaches you. I could also see a scenario where it doesn't reach you. So I would just say pay attention to the forecast updates throughout the day. But you're right on. I think you're right on the edge in my eyeballs as of right now. Lexington, Kentucky. This is going well south of you. It's not going to impact you. Also, I think for later on tonight, you're too far east. Franklin, Kentucky, by Bowling Green, we've mentioned that this is a strong thunderstorm going on down here, but it's not severe. It's just very, very loud. Sorry about that, Tori. I try to remind folks to give me a bigger city because it's so hard. I mean, we cover all 120 counties in Kentucky. It's so hard to memorize every little small town. So we try to get a little bigger city near there, and then we can kind of zoom in from there. But look how far I have to zoom in just to get Cox's Creek. It's pretty far. That's why I didn't know where it was. I'm sorry about that. I just answered Franklin, Kentucky, reinventing electricity. Oh, I know. It's crazy. I don't understand people for example, when we had the Memorial Day system come through and Fourth of July system come through, people were out on the water. We actually had to contact, some EMS offices and get these folks off the water because people don't realize lightning loves two things, right? How do we get how people don't realize how we get our electricity in the first place? It's from water, okay? So lightning likes water. It also likes big metal objects. When you put a big metal object like a boat on a water, you're just asking to get hit. I mean, you just are. So a lot of folks just don't understand. Get off the water and get off of metal. That's why they tell you don't take a shower during a lightning storm, right? Now, I think that's a bit of a myth, but anyway, you get the point. Stay away from water and stay away from metal. We're talking about lightning. What are you doing on a mower in the middle of a lightning storm? I think Williamsburg's too far east for the second wave. Way too far east. LL's going to be very close, very, very close. I think you do see some impacts later on tonight, though. What about Bullitt County? This line is well past Bullitt County. Might be a little bit too far east for tonight's round, but again, we'll have to just, it's on that line, so we'll have to just wait and see, unfortunately. Danielle, it just amazes me how invincible we humans think we are when we're not. We're not. It really amazes me. Whoever was asking about a Dareville, can you give me a bigger city near you? I know it's somewhere down here to the south, but I can't remember where. We do have a severe warning, by the way, for Tompkinsville, Kentucky. That one expires in 20 minutes for 60-mile-per-hour winds, and then one more for Monticello, more specifically down there toward Parmleysville, Rocky Branch, and those folks down there for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. And then I think we'll wrap up the broadcast here very soon. Columbia, you believe, for Adairville? I think you're right. That sounds about right. Let's see how far I have to zoom in for this one. I think it is down here somewhere though. No, Columbia's Adair County, aren't they? I don't know if it's actually Adairville down there. Unless I'm blind, I don't see it. Russellville, you have a strong thunderstorm pushing through there, but it's not anything severe, and it should be out of your way very soon. There is Adairville. Wow. So this is why it's also very confusing to work in Kentucky. So you have Adair County over here, right? And then you have Adairville over here. Like, can we get a break, please? It's like so whoever made Kentucky just got lazy at some point. Because you also have Hardin County that's up here, and Hardin's the city's over here. It's very annoying. Very, very, very annoying. All right, so Dareville, you do have this one that's impacting your area here in the next 10 minutes or so. It is not severe though. Second round is anytime between 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. Where are these storms coming from tonight? If you look at this big severe watch up here, that's where they're coming from. So that's on. It's just now starting to get going up here toward Iowa, and then it'll slowly move its way through, and then down here to Kentucky. That's a bad arrow, but you get my point. I am really bad at drawing arrows, or just drawing on the map in general. Yeah, I knew Columbia was Adair County, LO, but she was asking about, or they were asking about Adairville, so I wasn't quite sure where that one was at. Let's take a check back in here on some of the wind gusts. Still seeing some stronger wind gusts. This is from the Louisville radar, though. I think it's time to switch this down here to this radar. Still seeing some stronger wind gusts, maybe some downburst winds from Burkesville to Albany. But it looks like the worst of it's starting to move into Tennessee now. Yeah, definitely. Check on Somerset real quick. Not seeing a whole lot there in Somerset. Looks like the worst of this is starting to move into Tennessee now. Can we drive in it when we are DoorDash? I guess it's up to you, my friend. For me personally, I wouldn't drive through thunderstorms that are producing 60-mile-per-hour winds. I would not. Kayla, you're looking at some strong wind bursts there, up to 50 to 60 mile per hour, along with some heavy rainfall. But technically, Somerset is not severe at this time. I don't think it will be. All right, I think it's time to call it there. The bulk of this is moving into Tennessee now. We just have the last of it along the Southern Kentucky Tennessee line, but much of this is not severe at this time. So yeah, this part that's going through, it's not severe. This part is the most severe part is down here toward Tennessee now. This up here is not severe. And then you have this part over here where this is really beginning to die down. So I think much of this is exiting the state at this point. I think us staying on the broadcast is not warranted any further. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to take a brief break, eat a little bit. I have not eaten today. It is 4 o'clock and I'm not eating today. That is a crime. I am way too damn big to not be eating. Sorry for cussing, but it's the truth. So I'm going to eat a little bit, take a little bit of a break, and then I'll look at some of the new data that's coming in regarding tonight, and I'll probably make a post on it on our Facebook and on our Twitter, at WeatherNowKY on Twitter. On Facebook, it is at WNKWX. I hate that it's not the same, but that's just how it is. But anyway, I'll make some updates here, probably around, I would say, 5, 6 o'clock. That's when we'll have a good idea on how the environment is. One last check-in on the temperatures. We are starting to see them rebound. E-Town's kind of staying cool, though, at 68 degrees. You're much cooler than everyone else around you. Pretty interesting there. But again, Somerset, not severe. Let's see here. And then the bulk of this, the worst of it, is now exiting our state, heading into Tennessee at this point. I want to say thank you to everyone that's tuning in here today. Again, we'll have that update out for you at least by 6 p.m. or so. I think that's about it. I'm George Herbig, Chief Forecaster here with Weather Now Kentucky. Until next time, stay safe, friends.